morning. I've been struck by the news lately, and really the lack of information that we're getting in Iran. Or what are the plans? How long is it going to happen? What we do know is Trump intends to expand the industrial military complex. That's the goal, folks. Nothing else matters. Just the war machine all the time. And that benefits the tech bros. It benefits the oil industry. They're all making a fortune, a windfall fortune. Why do you think Putin kept up his war machine as long as he did? Keeps the people hungry, keeps the tech bros and the kleptocrats all happy. As we speak, Trump, who seems to be everywhere all the time, he's amassing a war chest for 2026 and beyond. All those billionaires, they're contributing so far close to $1 billion to his war chest. And they're not doing it for nothing in return. I remember when lobbyists used to say if they gave in $1, they got 127 back. Well, look at the oil companies. They gave him $1 billion, and they're getting a windfall back. Not counting the almost $1 trillion in subsidies that you and I are paying into the federal coffers. $1 trillion. You think when they're making profits, and it's costing us money for them to make profits, that we should be giving them subsidies also? And the latest wrinkle in Trump's, accordion of ideas, and they're not all coming from him, folks. No siree. They're coming from those billionaires. They're coming from Musk. They're coming from Meta, from Amazon, from the Kochs, the good old Heritage Foundation. That's where his ideas are coming from. And what does he want to do? He wants to shift child care, Medicare, Medicaid, in other words, all health care back to the states. Well, that's fine, except for one thing. New York State will keep all the money, and we won't give any money to any of the other states. So sure, New York State might come out with universal health care. And what about all the states that are net receivers of all of our cash? They're not going to get it. And so health care will become just for the wealthy states, if they want it. Texas may not want it, and Florida may not want it, but you gotta believe those of us in the donor states, we're gonna want it. Trump, he doesn't care. He wants the Wild West back again for government. No government except for the military-industrial complex. And that he'd like to see another $1.5 trillion for. Where's he going to get the cash? I've already figured out. We're giving $1 trillion to oil and gas. We're giving $1 trillion probably to the Iranian war so far. He wants to give $4.5 trillion to corporations. And where does that leave us? Where does it leave us for schools, for infrastructure, for hospitals, for our health care? It leaves us out in the cold or the heat. To them, they don't care. They're going to be off this planet if they could. Unfortunately, they may not live that long. So the time horizon is just not there. Not that I meant to assassinate them. No. It's just, they literally may not live that long. They're killing us and everyone else off with their pollution, with their unbridled interest in themselves and themselves alone. So I think we've got recourse, and the recourse is we register everyone to vote, and we make sure that those 10 million folks who didn't vote in 2024, they got to vote in the midterms and from now on. And if you vote for a con artist and you vote against your self-interest, I think you need mental health, because we've already seen what Trump can do in a little over a year. What do you think will happen if he's there longer? These guys, they like war. They like war at our expense. It makes them feel good because, like Stalin said, one person dies, that's a tragedy. Millions die, it's a statistic. Do you really feel that way too? I don't think so. We got to get rid of Trump and the cabal that's keeping him in power.